It's important not only to recognize we need to be a bystander, but also take that step. We're all members of the St. Paul College community. You take care of your neighbor. Bystander intervention is recognizing that the situation is causing harm to somebody and really just stepping up and doing what you can to try to prevent that from going any further. You do have the power to step up and possibly prevent harm from being done to somebody. You can seriously change somebody's life in the process.
We could prevent sad stories before they actually become sad stories. This can happen to anybody, so anything, no matter how little I feel it is, can go a long way in providing support. Those little things count. I wish everyone can just know that intervention must not be jump into the situation and say something, because it can sound scary, but you could just be around, ask for an address, like little things like that really go a long way in helping situations.
When it comes to being a bystander, there are 5 different methods that we teach to kind of mitigate the situation. We frame them as the 5 Ds because it makes it a little bit easier to remember. And those 5 Ds are direct, distract, delegate, delay, and document.
I've just been out with friends or at the bar, and there's been some situations between couples. They were kind of pushing each other around, and I was waiting in line to go to the bathroom. And so the guy went in and the girl waited, so I was like, hey, you okay or something? If there's anything going on, like, let me know, because I'm here to help, and I'm just trying to look out for you, is what I said. And so that was my way of intervening and trying to de-escalate it. I just was telling myself, like, you gotta say something because you have no idea what goes on behind closed doors. It was red flags to me, and so it worried me and was concerning, which is why I knew I had to say something, otherwise I'd have a guilty conscience and I couldn't live with that.
The most important thing about being a bystander or bystander intervention is just knowing that you do have the power to step up and possibly prevent harm from being done to somebody, and that you can seriously change somebody's life in the process.
There was a time when me and my friends, we went out to a bar. So there was one man, he was like drunk. I have a friend who was a lady, and she was very tipsy as well. She was drunk. And apparently this man was approaching her and started to, like, you know, touch her face and trying to kiss her. He said, let's go home because I live close by. And I just told the friends, like, hey, let's order this again, let's order that again. So I tried to delay the situation. Eventually we stayed longer. And when you stay longer, people, you know, started to get sober, and, you know, the level of alcohol goes down, and people started to, like, you know, become fresher. So, and eventually when my friend became okay, so we just, you know, took her home and we dropped her off and we left. We made sure she's safe. So this was like a significant time that I remember that I intervened in a bystander situation for my friends.
I was out with a couple of my friends. You know, it was like, quote unquote, guys' night. We were chilling, kind of going out to bars. And, you know, one of my friends, he got a little too sauced. You know, I'm not gonna lie. He had a little bit much and he was doing a little bit much. And, you know, he wanted to talk to ladies. And I didn't think this was a good idea because we knew that he was already in a relationship and he was being a little too aggressive and a little too forward. And even as his friends, he was making us uncomfortable. So you could only think about how he was making, you know, these women who are also out there to have a good time uncomfortable. So we had to delegate that, and I thought that the ruling authority on that would be his girlfriend. So we went ahead and gave her a call up and told him just, hey, pick him up. He's doing too much. And it worked out wonderfully. I Hope you learned a valuable lesson. He's not mad at us for it, and we still had a good night.
I'd say the biggest takeaway is that we're around these situations more often than we think. There are a few different, ways to approach a situation or get out of a situation. It's important that we're just aware of these things and have the tools or resources to be able to de-escalate it.
So when it comes to these situations, it's not always going to be catastrophic. You're not even always gonna know for sure that this is a situation that could escalate. So the moral of the story is, you may not always know for sure, but if you get that gut feeling, trust it. And at the end of the day, you have a bunch of different tools to use, and use the one that fits.
How did you feel when you spoke up in your instance of intervening?
Honestly, I felt like I just saved a person, right? I just offered help. Like, that was amazing. I felt so good. I felt like I just made the difference I've been looking for. The difference that we go to school for years to make. I just affected one person, and that's my name registered in one person's heart. And that was just amazing, honestly.